Bam bam ba na 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 na. Ba na 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 na. Ticka 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 picka bow now na 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 na. Down na 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 na. How are you, all the folksers, all folks buddies, all folksaholics, all folks in ears, all folks aheads? Hear what I'm doing here?
How are you with the fuck buddies, with the fucking ears, with the fuckadelics?
I wanted to get the real sound, but I was sort of an homage to one of the original podcast heads, big podcasters.
I'm still
Mark Maron. Do you listen to Mark still?
Okay, when I'm on long drives, I will listen to Mark, or like on a plane.
I can't say I do very much. Maybe every couple months now.
But I mean, I only listen.
Maybe only a part of it.
I only listen to people that I'm more interested in.
Yeah, and I feel like he interviewed so many people originally that he ran out of people. You feel like that's true?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he's redoing a lot of people.
People used to say like, oh yeah, I only listen to the interviews. And I was like, I actually liked hearing about the minutia of Mark's life, sometimes more than the interviews.
Listening to it consistently, or like listening, because I feel like I used to like, when I first started listening to podcasts, it was one of the first podcasts that I started listening to, and I would just binge podcasts. So in that way, it got kind of annoying. But like on a weekly basis, you know, I could be okay with it, I guess. But it was also like before I really was listening to any other podcasts. But I'm still a pretty limited podcast listener. I'm definitely very niche.
What do you mean by that?
I only listen to a few podcasts, so I feel like it's just like me. I don't know. I'm not saying like I like podcasts. And maybe I do listen to them as much as some people, but I feel like I'm not really super like deep into podcasts, or like, I don't know.
Don't think that's totally true. I think if you've gotten into one or two, maybe three podcasts, then you can say you understand podcasts.
I guess, and I guess I'm also talking about podcasts in audio form, and with podcasts with video, it's a bit different.
It is different.
So, like, I would say, like, what's your favorite podcast right now?
I gotta say, well, I've been listening to you, as you know. Zach knows. The audience doesn't know. For some reason, I was getting a lot of Cumtown clips on YouTube for a while. Like, they were like, just listen to this clip from Cumtown. And I would be like, all right. And I'd listen to it on YouTube, and I was like, this is kind of funny. Like, I know people like this podcast. So then I went back, and I'm now listening to, like, episodes from, like, 2017 of Cumtown. And it's really just talking. It's really a lot like a poop to scoop nonstop, like just like whatever type combo. And I kind of just like that, because sometimes I fall asleep and I'm like, you know what, who the fuck really cares if I fall asleep? These guys were just like bullshitting. And yeah. It's really, I don't know why, they're really funny, but the thing is they say retarded, they say some really non-PC shit. And I think they were like one of the last edgelords or something, and it was just kind of like a weird vibe that I don't know. I feel bad about listening to some of these episodes. So I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's sick, man. Yeah, I haven't listened to. I'm trying to get into Cumtown, and I tried to listen to some today when I was getting ready for my leg workout, and I had to turn it. I couldn't do it. But that was maybe not the best setting for it. I need to listen to it in my car, I guess, like on my commutes.
The thing is you hate Stavros Halkias, who's a person on this podcast's laugh. And so that's a big problem, because he laughs a lot during the podcast.
Yeah, Stavi's World.
Yeah. No, and I listened a lot. I saw some Stavros his stand-up special on YouTube. I started following on YouTube. I became a Stavros fan, and then I'm like, okay, this is how he got popular. I don't know. Is this the minutia that people want to know about on a podcast? Like how you dig through podcasts?
I don't know what people are doing.
All right. Well, yeah, I started. My gateway was Stavros, going on some podcasts that I know, thinking he was funny, going through him, becoming a fan of him, and then going to try to go to the back as far as I can go in his catalog, which is this podcast from 2016. And that's what made him famous. Like, I guess they got like pretty rich off like Patreon and stuff.
For real?
Yeah, they talk about on the podcast how they like got money. They finally have money and like what they're buying and things like that.
Okay,
That's
interesting.
Like,
okay, yeah, I
not really wealthy, but like, you know, you can hear they talk about it sometimes.
They had a money that they could like dig into if they needed it or wanted it.
I think I heard Stavros say that he bought his family like a house and stuff. Like it's not like a good income. I don't know. I don't know. I have no estimate. Maybe 100,000.
Sure.
Maybe a couple 100,000 a year. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Good for them.
But they recently quit because they said they ran out of things to talk about, which is pretty weird. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're also like, I don't know, like Stavros is now like kind of like, at least in my world, like an up and coming comic.
He definitely is.
So I think that's interesting. And you've been a fan of his comedy.
For sure. For like a couple, like 6 months, maybe a year. I don't know.
Probably like only like 6 months, but yeah.
But yeah, he made me lol. His comedy special was funny. Did you watch it? You said you watched it. Didn't really make.
Yeah, I watched it. It was good. Also, Mom liked it. So that's kind of like a completely different perspective, and she actually really liked it. Because I remember she told me, she's like, oh, that was pretty funny. She watched it like separately.
Yeah, but I think Stav is for everyone. I think he's the hot new. I think he's the new blank.
Seinfeld. He's the new Jerry Seinfeld. Can I say that?
Could be true. That could be true. I don't know. Sure. I think in some dimension, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool. It's
what do you think? Here's what I was thinking.
Nice to see someone up and coming. I don't know. That's cool. I'm excited for him.
So
he's gonna get canceled. Like, let's be real.
I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't know. I got a feeling.
He might.
You have to admit it's possible. It's possible for anyone, but yeah, so yeah, I would say so.
I was thinking about the future of podcasts. Do you think how do you think it's going to change with the advent of augmented reality? I wanted to turn this into a tech podcast.
What the fuck is augmented reality?
You really don't know?
Not exactly. Like, I know it's like VR on steroids.
That's actually true.
That's all I know.
No, it's just like, okay, I can't believe you don't know this. I thought you just knew.
Is it like personalized reality or like...
Imagine you have glasses on right now, and in front of them there's this transparent screen that you can put things on the screen, on the lenses to make it look like it's in the room. Okay. Or it can just be in front of you as a screen, like as information. But it's like basically that. It's like augmented, meaning you still see the world in front of you, but then there's a layer. Like you can put a skin. You can put a skin on the...
like a video game.
Exactly. Like these walls could be almost like projection mapping, you know, when you're doing like when you think a projector, how they like sort of like project onto
That's insane.
Yeah. So like you would probably have like
I think that's like the next Facebook that's gonna destroy everyone's life.
well, Facebook is that's like kind of one of the I don't want to say it's what the metaverse is, but it is what they want. They think
Sure.
that's why he's spending so much money on.
And that's why I invested so much money within FTX in the metaverse, in meta tokens.
So it's like a tech joke,
I thought that was appropriate.
I guess. I don't know. I don't think so.
Crypto can't like live in.
Crypto is,
Crypto
I guess, maybe the money of the metaverse. I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Okay. Well, I lost money at FTX, so don't bank with them.
How much money do you think you actually? How much money do you think you actually lost, though?
I think I lost like only like $100 actually, but I had like $600 in FTX, and like I lost a lot of money in crypto in general, and I was like, I'm out. I cashed out, and I took a loss. I didn't lose that much money on FTX, but probably like $200 to $300. I think maybe I could have potentially lost. But like only about 100 of that was whenever it crashed, because I took everything else out. I think I had like $100 in there.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far.
There's a lot of drama right now, and like in the world of online.
What do you mean by that? Like,
There's just a lot of there's a lot of stories right now. I feel like it's really kicked off 2023 with some like real like a lot of shit came out. Were people waiting for the new year to drop their shit?
what do you think came out after the new year?
I mean, Andrew Tate. Actually, that was before the new year.
Before.
And Andrew Callahan.
I think that's just regular news, though.
There's got to be at least one or two other Andrews. Andrew, our cousin, that's getting married in June. I mean, nothing problematic there. That's just just another Andrew.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think there is a lot of news right now, but I think it's just like everybody's online, so there's like it's just.
You're right. That's regular news.
I think it's just news.
That's just news. I don't know.
But I don't know. There's always just. I want to get back to. What do you think the podcast is going to turn into? Like, here's what I'm picturing. Imagine this. I'm going to paint a picture of what this podcast could look like for.
You're just in like the space, right?
Maybe I think there's going to be a podcast where, like, yeah, we would be recording our whole bodies right now with 3D.
And then you can literally sit on the couch and like these people kind of set up around you, and like you're just part of like you're just a part of that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that would be a really popular format.
For sure.
I can't imagine people won't fucking love that.
Yeah, that's really. Yeah, people. That's gonna be like super like novelty for like big fans, and like.
It's gonna be really weird.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, is this shit just gonna cost money? Like, oh, I want to buy my kid like the fucking like the Frozen like blueprint from Frozen the movie, and you can like live in it or some shit, and you buy it for your kid like with like tokens of some kind.
What do you mean, like Frozen? I don't understand what you're saying. You're buying
Frozen the movie.
What are you saying?
Like, you can buy like this. I don't know. Maybe this is not like. Maybe this is just like a step in augmented reality. But it's like you're buying like. So whenever you do have like. Are we talking about augmented reality just like in our mind, or like this is like glasses or what?
Yeah, so
Is it like a physical thing?
ideally, I mean, eventually maybe it could be in our minds, but no, these first iteration of this product is just going to be like glasses and like
yeah. So I'm saying like you buy like the Frozen, the movie, you have like this layout of what the movie is, and you can like buy that from somebody, and then you can like have this as like kind of like this is just like a kind of like a thing. It's kind of like it's an NFT almost.
I don't get what you're saying. Like, what are you actually buying? The movie?
No, you're not. You're buying like the set, and like
set?
you can augment the reality. You can,
Like,
you can
okay, saying like,
realitize.
are you saying like, here's what I'm saying. Are you saying like the movie is like 3D?
Yeah.
And you can like set it up like a little sort of like tabletop environment, sort of like miniature.
No, I'm saying you're living in it.
So it's like,
It's basically like a Sims house. That's you're a character in The Sims, and you're kind of living in like this world that's like a movie.
I think that actually, okay, I think I see what you're saying. I think what you would have to do is like,
But like
imagine,
physically, I don't know how that happened physically, but I'm saying like visually.
I think what you would have to do is you would have to like sort of have a scan of your house. Everybody's got to have a scan of their house. And you're probably going to put like mark objects. It's like, this is a couch, this is a table, this is a,
Sure.
different things would have different uses and heights, and it would know the measurements. And then I think you could probably buy like skins of different like
Right.
sorts of looks, so that sort of like paint over your shit with like these colors or like whatever, animations, like make your couch alive, that would probably be really popular. Like, it looks like your couch, but it's like the one on Pee-wee's Playhouse that has the eyes and the mouth is the cushion, and it's like, good morning, and maybe that's your Siri, is that it's your couch, is your couch is talking to you, and that's your Siri. Or maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could sit on it, but it would also talk and shit.
Like a talking dildo.
you could make a dildo like your main Siri. I think you could tag objects and you're like, that's gonna be my Siri. And it's kind of like a dildo with like a face on it, and it's like, good morning. You gotta go to walk the dog, and it just like goes through your list of things to do, tells you the weather, and you can Google questions on it.
Dude, it is so cold out here. It's 52. Like, it doesn't get 52 here. I mean, does it? I guess sometimes.
All right, I'm gonna pause.
Are we doing this? Really? Wait for it. Are we doing this? Wait for it. Ow! What the fuck? WTF. And it's also, what the fuck? What's wrong with it? It's time for WTF. What the fuck? With Mark.
All right.
Okay, let's do this. How are you,
We're back.
Fuckers? What the fuck, buddy?
Do you remember what we were talking about yesterday?
No. Something about like the new audio for DJI.
What? We did make it a tech podcast, and we did talk about crypto. To put it back onto crypto for a second, I didn't want to talk about it, but I heard someone say today, they were like talking about the Logan Paul thing, about Logan Paul scamming everybody with his NFT project.
The fall of Logan Paul.
So it's the new fall. It's just the current fall. And they were like, do you really feel bad for anybody that got scammed? It's like, you really can't. And like, I know you lost a couple $100, but why are you squatting?
I just kind of felt good.
Okay. there's two chairs to if the audience, going back to the point about if this was like a VR AR podcast, I'd be sitting in a chair right now, just like a regular chair, and Zach's like squatting like he's like at in a soccer team, and they're like talking about the play they're about to do.
Well, my legs are sore. You were just saying how your legs are sore from squatting. I also did legs yesterday. I'm a little bit sore. It felt good to squat. Also, I'm just petting the dogs.
So yeah, I don't know. Do you feel bad that everybody that got screwed on NFTs? Do you really feel bad about it? Not really, because like basically everybody who gets involved with that is like they kind of know it's like gambling and like that it's like insecure and like scammy, right? Like
I feel bad for some of the people, like for the people that probably like spent too much money on these things, and I do agree that they know what they're getting into, but I still have sympathy and empathy for them, just because, you know, anybody could get scammed.
yeah.
So certain people, I don't really care, but like, you know, the people that are like, you know, just really super deep into that, and they have like all their finances like wrapped up in NFTs, like that in itself to me sounds crazy. But I like the spirit.
You do?
I mean, you gotta, it's just, you know,
the spirit of like
the spirit of just being like, that you're that excited about NFTs and you're just all in.
just like, okay.
Yeah,
They're just a nerd of some weird type.
Yeah, you're a specific type of geek.
I really feel like the people that are doing this, though, like, it's not just that they're a geek about it. It's that they think this is, like, how they're going to get rich. And they think everyone else is dumb for not doing it right now.
Yeah, I get, like, I was, you know, at one point, like, supposed to be, like, a multimillionaire off crypto.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
And I knew people personally.
And that's because I didn't put in the work.
No, I did know people personally who, like, I think during the pandemic, I don't know at what point Bitcoin jumped a lot. Like, I think it was like 2 years ago.
2021.
Just 1 year ago? Or two now?
2 years ago, yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but I did have some friends that made, like, I think like $20,000 or maybe $50,000 during that time.
Like if I made
maybe more than that.
If I made $20,000 off crypto, like I would be in an amazing mood right now.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't be in school, and that's not even that much money.
Yeah, no, like $20,000 would be incredible.
I would probably, if I'm being honest, I probably would be traveling right now.
So that's
enough,
what you were hoping.
That's
for.
enough money to like at least start me on some type of endeavor. You know what I mean? That's
Definitely,
right.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I bought a van and like fixed it up for under $5,000. So think about what $20,000 could do.
Yeah, I mean, but like, if you don't have a job, like that money does go quick.
Yeah, definitely. Shockingly quick.
Shockingly quick, yeah. So,
like, I wish I didn't have to eat. I feel like food and shelter is just like a big bummer. I hate that I have to feed and shelter my body.
I mean, I wouldn't say I hate that, but I would love to not have to worry about like the finances of of food and shelter, like, but of course, like the materialist in my mind like would also like wants like a nice place. So
definitely, I guess I'm back to actually feeling bad about people betting on crypto, because they have the dream of getting rich quick, and like everybody wants to get out of the daily toil.
I feel like what it's come down to me for, and it's crazy that it's taken me this long to realize it, is if I want to be in that realm, I got to get on Survivor.
What do you mean by that?
I gotta win Survivor. Like
That's the way you'll get which Crick?
Yeah, that's the way I'll fucking get my money. Like it's not gonna be Crick.
That's the most likely, quickest route to money in your mind.
That's the more realistic. So I mean, if I get on the show, you know, I'm automatically like 1 in like 20 chance of becoming a millionaire. I think it's $1 million.
My one friend, the same friend who I think got like, I don't remember how much money he won from Bitcoin. I swear it could have been 100,000. I don't remember exactly. It was such an enormous amount that I was like, holy fuck. Anyway, same friend was telling me that me and you have to go on Survivor.
Oh, really?
Because we're the type of people that are on Survivor in his mind. He was like adamant that we needed to make a tryout tape to be like, we're a brother team. That's our gimmick. And he was certain that we were Survivor ready.
I do. It's true. We would be good characters, and I think we would do pretty well.
So you're saying that this is true. This is the fastest way to riches.
Probably. And I will say they're due for some sort of what's the word? Change in like the
format.
Yeah, like some sort of something that's gonna throw a wrench
like
into
sibling season.
Well, they've done family before, and I think
any kind of family relation.
Yeah,
husband, wife, brothers.
Yeah, I think that's how you
son, father.
That's I think that's.
I've never watched one episode of Survivor.
Well, I'm saying they're due for one like that because they haven't done anything like that in a while, but. So
I guess I'll make the tape. What do we have to do?
You just literally make like a certain I don't know how long. It's like a 2-3 minute tape that just is like explaining why you should be on Survivor.
Just us jumping over holes with spikes at the bottom. Just be like.
I mean, you can look up Survivor videos on YouTube and you can see people put a lot of effort into it. Like they're pretty elaborate.
Their tryout video.
Yeah. Some are just kind of normal, but like some people like, you know, really do it up. I would imagine that anyone that's submitting now, they probably have a pretty like well edited.
I think it's probably all types, but there's probably some really good videos out there.
That's true.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to. Should we watch one before we do it, or should we just?
I watched some. I mean,
We have to make a storyboard.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of
a tryout video. Anyway.
And I mean, I know it's been. I was kind of already thinking about like it's just you don't make it. You just make it funny. Like I think that in itself will get you on the show. It's not about like anybody could do the show, and it's like sure, but they want to make sure you're entertaining.
Yeah.
So if you can make like a stupid fun video, but actually have like some legit credentials to maybe get you on the show. But not that being said, it seems really hard.
I think you have to have an X factor that the person who's looking at all these videos is like, okay, I see the entertaining thing about this thing. So we'd have to sort of figure out our X factor.
That's the thing. Like,
and lean in.
I could never really figure out what my X factor was, and that's why I was like, I don't know if I have what it takes to get on Survivor. Like, I don't. But some people are. I don't know. Like some of the shit like is definitely like embellished and like I don't know what my I don't know what my X factor would be.
I guess our X factor is that we are brothers. Right?
Well, yes, but
isn't that our gimmick?
Well, no. That's kind of I don't if they're gonna do like a season where they would allow brothers, there would be other brothers. Like they're not just gonna throw us into a random season. Oh yeah, and these guys too are brothers. Maybe that would be an interesting thing for like and we don't tell them. You know what I mean? Like that would be something that we don't tell like the other people, and like but that's a weird move. It's kind of unfair.
I zoned out for a second. Did you say we don't say that we're brothers? We change our last name?
No, I'm saying like the show knows that we're brothers, but the audience doesn't. So we don't tell the people that we're on the show with. But that's also kind of unfair to like if you're on Survivor, like that kind of decreases your odds because you're already giving some people an advantage for no reason.
Okay.
I'm really getting into the heat of the game. You don't really watch the show, so you're kind of, I hear how you.
Yeah, I don't understand. I basically understand it's generally an elimination show, and it's on the beach, and there's like physical demands.
But also the thing is, like, there's some water challenges that I would not be good at, like diving down. Like I can't dive down deep.
I don't know how deep I could go.
I could go deep, but I'm not gonna fuck.
It does hurt my ears a lot.
I just know that if I went on Survivor, I'd probably get some crazy injury and have to leave.
Probably, yeah. I mean, definitely, because you're on camera, you're going hard. Like you're gonna go 1,000,000%, and you're gonna fuck something up.
Yeah, it is.
I think the issue is, I think I would be like nervous on camera. I think I would choke under the pressure. That's what I think would happen if we were actually on. Like there, we would get kind of far, and then I would do something so stupid.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that can happen to anyone.
I'd be on a fucking blooper reel. Like something so dumb, people be like, "Did you see this thing on Survivor?"
Do dumb shit. That's just like, you never know. So I mean, maybe, but
I think I'm capable of memeably dumb.
Well,
thing.
Luckily, you know nothing about Survivor, so even if you were on that level, it's not like an insane level of, oh, remember that guy from Survivor? Like, no one remembers anyone's from
I'd go down in history now. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's possible. Maybe that's like dumb, idiotic, like crypto thinking.
It's just,
I guess, is this as sad as crypto trying to get on Survivor and win it?
For me, like, to me,
it's more fun.
Yeah, to me, no, because it's entertaining and it is like fun, and like it is like an interesting test of like your ability to survive
and be on reality TV is funny. Like I know, like being in the reality TV machine, like a show, would be really interesting.
So, the thing about crypto, right? And it's the ethics.
Nah, I forget what we were talking about right before the last cut.
We were talking about
Should I stop this?
reality, like virtual. It was VR on steroids.
True. Yeah, we talked about how we would be scans and sitting on people's.
We were talking about skins.
Skinning reality, yeah, like...
No, we were talking about skinning animals. Deer.
No, think about this. Skinning an animal, like making your dog into like
dog
a dog skin. So you tracking your dog and like...
Make your dog into like a fucking like dragon.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people are probably going to do. And
that's really weird.
I think it's going to be funny. It's going to be really weird. Yeah, definitely. And you're going to be like, one thing I've thought about is like, you're going to be able to skin the world how you want to see it, if you want.
Sure.
Like you can put, anytime you see any dog, it's a dragon. You know what I mean? You're walking down the street in your visual, in the front of you, you see a dog, but it's already skinned up as a dragon, but to fit that dog size and like movements. You can choose to see that.
But what if it's an actual dragon? Are you going to get some kind of like thing like, watch out?
That's actually a dragon. Yeah, I guess.
Or actually, it's like, if you see something that that's not recognized, are you notified of that? Like, this is not a recognized
object, like unidentified.
Yeah.
Like we can't categorize what we're seeing. I don't know if that's going to, maybe. That's a weird idea.
I don't know. I think I'm just thinking at it from a different lens because I don't really know much about it.
Imagine you also, like, anytime you see any person, you just skin them as, like, the same person. Like, you pick somebody.
Right.
Maybe yourself. Maybe every single person weird. Looks like you, and everybody, you know what I mean?
I don't like that at all.
I think it would make you treat everybody nicely, I think.
Maybe.
Everyone looked like you.
I can be a real dick to myself.
That's true. Yeah, I think here's one. Whenever I was originally imagining the future of the podcast, I imagined that maybe we would be like, we could actually take our real heads, just our headless heads, and they could be like sitting. Imagine somebody's like doing dishes, and like in front of them is like the counter, and maybe a windowsill or something in their environment, and they could see that it's surfaces, and like our podcast is like just auto fills surfaces with like things from the show. And so maybe my head would be somewhere, your head would be somewhere, maybe the dogs that were in the scene would be like in, I don't know, another place.
Sure.
But basically it would like sort of make like a series of little things, moving trinkets sitting on people's environment that are just related to the show at the moment. You know, if you're talking about a certain subject, maybe you play the stuff from that subject somewhere, and then the heads are somewhere else, you know. And everybody's scene is different, and so then, like, they populate those environments differently. Just sort of probably, you know, some sort of AI is going to fill the space, you know. Let's face it. This is the year of AI. I've told you this.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
I've been saying...
Imagine that idea, though. How would you like that format?
Absolutely love it.
That's what I pictured originally, but I think your original idea of just somebody who's like talking, just like sitting in the space that you're in, makes a lot more sense. That I think people are going to go for that for at least a little while. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting, but then you think pure audio is going to always hit. No imagery. This is pure audio. Like the format of the podcast, do you think is going to like classic this style, no imagery going with it, is going to be a timeless medium?
I mean,
no need to
also,
update.
Like, can you...
Because radio still is around.
I'm just thinking, like, the beauty... Excuse me. The beauty of podcasts is that you can pair it up with another action where you don't have to be physically watching. So you can be doing something else.
Exactly.
But is it, like, are you going to be able to have, like, a podcast driving in your car, and then, you know, your car is filled with the
people in the podcast? That sounds a little dangerous.
Right, that's what I said. Like, that could be, like, that sounds like something that would be illegal.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. It's gonna be weird. But yeah, I think that's a good format. I think you're right. Like, I think the pure no imagery podcast is always going to be around. But I guess I'm thinking, like, there's some podcasts that I've been listening to lately that have visual components, you know? Like, they're on YouTube and they film themselves talking. And it's like, not much really visually happens. But sometimes there is visuals that they bring up, like, things that you need to see. And I do glance.
It is nice for context and a little bit more, like, emotion, I guess.
Yeah, I was driving a lot, and so I was like, I had like 3-hour podcast on one day, or like a 4-hour podcast. The H3H3 visual podcast, you know, on YouTube. They call it, I guess it's called a podcast. They call them streams. I don't know. It was 4 hours long. And I had to drive like 6 hours that day, so it ruled that I think it was 4.5 hours. But it wasn't much visual because, I was driving. Okay, kind of dangerous, but I didn't really look at it that much. Like, you didn't really have to look at it, but sometimes, you know, they'd be like, this thing, oh, show that, and I glance at it, and I'd be like, okay, I got it. I don't think it was a dangerous amount of consumption, but maybe you could argue it was still dangerous. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that for sure.
But to me, it was an acceptable amount of glancing. It was only glancing. I didn't get wrapped up in the story too much.
No, I think I've done that before too, and like,
okay,
you don't need to like worry about it, but maybe you just don't do it again.
Maybe don't podcast and drive.
Maybe just say right now that you're not going to do that anymore.
But I think like the podcast where it's like literally just cameras of the people talking, it's just kind of nice to like sometimes glance at it. Would I say everybody, you know, it is dangerous? I don't know. Comment below. Say whether you think watching a visual podcast in your car is acceptable or not acceptable. Nobody comments on Spotify. You can put questions on Spotify now, and nobody ever answers them.
Yeah. And that's the thing that we have to remind ourselves, right?
So I need to. Zach's just like texting. So, did you hear what I just said?
Yes. So, absolutely.
So, oh, that actually brings me to the. This was like I wanted this to be a podcast about podcasts a little bit.
Right.
Do you ever listen to podcasts when you're sleeping?
Never.
I do a lot. You've never even done it once.
I don't want like any more media in my mind.
But that's sometimes I need it to fall asleep because I'm like, if I sit there and just think about trying to sleep, I'll never sleep. I have to have to not be paying attention to the idea that I'm trying to sleep right now.
I guess I've just become a better sleeper than you.
Guess so.
At least falling asleep.
Though I guess you don't know this experience.
I mean, if you try blue light glasses. I mean, I don't know. I'm personally trying to limit my media consumption this year. And
to what?
Nothing. I'm just gonna live. I'm gonna wait. My media is gonna be, this temperature's kind of a little bit warm today. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it sounds nice till you get bored.
Right. I mean, I'm still gonna watch like shows and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I can't, unless I really, really can't sleep, and like, sure, maybe I'll listen to a fucking podcast, but I don't know. Like, the podcast for me will maybe keep me awake. But I will say I used to watch ASMR before I went to bed, and I would constantly fall asleep listening to like ASMR podcasts.
Okay.
Or ASMR videos.
And so,
But that's like specifically like relaxing, like
definitely. But they talk too, even if it's like kind of nonsense.
they
It's
just
like
no. It's just I don't listen to much.
some of the talking ones.
Maybe like some inaudible talking.
Okay. So I guess you wouldn't have this experience that I just wanted to say, like, I do sometimes, and I'll be dreaming and I can hear the podcast, right? But sometimes I won't understand what the words mean, you know? I'll be like listening to the tone of the voice and and like the rhythm of the conversation and the two different people or however many people. I'll be hearing that, like, the emotional information, but I'll be thinking my own thoughts on top of that sound, not comprehending what they're saying, but just sort of like reinterpreting their sounds with my own meaning in own words.
I don't think that's good. I really don't.
It feels really weird, and I think I don't. And when I realize I'm doing it, some nights I wake up way more tired the next day.
That makes sense. You're not fucking sleeping. Like you're lightly sleeping.
It's really weird. I don't know if anybody else does that.
I'm sure a lot of people do it.
It's really weird. Sometimes though I do comprehend what they're saying. Then I'm like actually listening to it, but like it's driving like dream imagery. Like I'm not really totally conscious. I'm listening to it. I'm understanding it, and then I'm making like the sort of like scenery where these two people are talking or where we are or whatever they're talking about. Then like, you know, has some imagery that goes with it. You know what I mean? It's like truly like, I guess this would be another cool like augmented reality podcast too. It would be like really like free form imagery accompaniment with a conversation, like changing your environment, objects appearing, morphing into other objects. Like that's kind of the experience I have when I'm hearing the podcast in my dream. Is, you know, it's really fucking like dreamy and like kind of trippy the way the things they're saying like drive the imagery of the dream.
Maybe you should try falling asleep to porn.
I mean, I would
You'll
then
just fuck all night.
I would. No, I would.
You probably wake up tired as fuck.
I'd probably just wake up.
Maybe, yeah.
I think the thing about the podcast is they're like boring enough. Like sometimes
That's true.
a song will come on, and that will wake me up.
But what if it's like a softcore porn, like kind of with like relaxing music?
I could probably like that. It would.
I think I could get into that, and I'm not gonna do it because that sounds like a bad road to go down. Like I don't.
Do you want to hear like
It's
a
gonna
really?
lead to some kind of other addiction?
Do you want to hear a really weird story related to this?
No, I actually don't. Save it for another.
I think it's pretty appropriate though.
Save it for another fucking.
It's
podcast.
pretty much. It's really relevant to what you just said.
Is it about you?
Yeah.
That's why I don't really want to know.
It's kind of not. I think you'll like it.
All right, let's hear it. Hold on, I might actually need to get a little bit more high for this.
All right.
Hold on, I'll take a quick break.
Whatever you want to call yourselves, whatever the fuck it is. I am Mark Maron. This is WTF. Thank you for tuning in.
Just let the end play. And we're back.
Yes.
There's no weed.
Back in the hot seat, I'm just going to take whatever's here and put a little bit of fucking chowder on top.
It feels a lot weirder that we waited. That about 25 minutes have gone by. We made tea. And
I needed a break, so I'm about to start meal prepping here pretty soon. So you know how it'd be Sunday. So you were talking about something about probably you coming in your pants, I think.
okay.
We were talking about porn, listening to porn, watching porn. before you go
Falling
to
asleep, listening to porn. What would happen? I know exactly what would happen because I was staying at a hotel one time. I don't remember how many years ago. 5, I don't know. But I was sleeping. It was maybe like 1 or 2 a.m. I was sleeping. I was having a sex dream. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was a dream where I was having sex.
Sure.
And very vivid. I woke up from the dream and the sounds from the dream were still happening. And I realized that behind the very thin wall at my head, like where my head was in the room next door, people were having really, really loud sex.
Oh my God. I think I remember you told me this before.
I feel like, has it been on this podcast? It's like an insane story. I feel like I feel weird about it though, but
Oh, that's actually not that weird.
I know, 'cause it wasn't my choice, but it was like I woke up, I had a boner. I was listening to it.
That's kind of hot.
It was really weird. I'll be honest, I did jerk it. So like,
You're like, fuck it. I'm like,
I mean, it was like they woke me up. I was like, I gotta get back to sleep.
Yeah, you were probably horny too.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know how long this dream was going on, but their noises drove me to this.
Yeah, they made you horny.
It was really weird, and like, you know, I don't know who those people are. They didn't know that was happening to me. How do you think they would have felt if they would have known this was happening?
Pretty weird.
Definitely.
They probably would have quieted down.
Yeah, so no, that was really weird.
Maybe they would have been like pumped about it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, it really depends on the people.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. So like I feel like that would just, if you watch porn when you go to sleep, that would just happen all the time.
Definitely. So that's the future of the podcast, or the form of the podcast.
Basically just coming a lot in your sleep. So that's kind of what podcast will be.
I think they're always going to be around.
I mean, it's radio, right?
It's just talking, and I think that's just like
just
you know,
like
going back to
human.
the campfire, stories around the campfire,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, yeah.
stories,
That's where it all began, you know, though. You got the acoustic
Spoken.
guitar around the fire.
stories around the campfire.
So I think, you know, if anything, we should just go back to the campfire, right? Bring it back to, you know, how they did it in, like, you know, Gen 1.
Yeah. I think it's going to get that way in a lot of ways.
What? Back to Gen 1?
Yeah, like I think the near future of podcasts is going to feel like a lot like Gen 1 storytelling. Like we said, I think the full body scan, putting the person or people whose podcast it is in your room and just sort of like sitting there with the coffee, or like, I guess it'll be like, that's what TV will be too, I guess. But I think the podcast is going to be like, I don't know. I think it's like, because you can imagine like narrative TV, like fiction things happening that way too, like people, like a play in your house with like holographic people. Sure, I guess that'll happen too.
I don't know, man. I mean, shit. This internet stuff is just far out, man.
Any more tech predictions for 2023?
I think there's gonna be. I think it might be a kind of a boring year.
I think you're totally wrong about it. Why do you think that? You just you have a feeling?
Yeah, I just have a feeling.
Okay.
As for, you know, I'm so just detached from everything, and that's another part that's kind of tough for me. I'm so busy, like I don't even have. If something happens in tech, I won't even know. It sucks. I'd love to know.
I mean, you kind of know. You know what's going on. No, but I do think that I think we're going to see these AI bots take over our lives in a lot of ways this year.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't first the immigrant workers that are taking our jobs, now they don't even have a fucking job.
You saying these AIs are going to take your jobs?
I think
they will.
I think it's.
They're going to be really stupid jobs, though.
I'm just kidding, but AI. I mean, I don't know, dude. I was kind of afraid of AI, but it seems like no one else is.
Elon Musk is still, I guess. People are kind of still afraid.
Right, like, it's like we don't have we do probably have an Alexa plugged in somewhere, but like, I kind of was scared off the Alexa. I didn't want to get Alexa, but I'm just like, I think because I have a phone, I just already have Alexa, right?
Well, Siri sucks, if that's what you think is like approximately Alexa.
I don't give a fuck about Siri.
What do you have on your phone that you would say is like Alexa?
I don't have either.
Oh. Yeah, you can just Google something on your phone. I mean, I think there is something great that's going to be great about talking to these AIs that are like really smart with just like a voice, you know, having a voice, just like we were talking about earlier. The Dildo voice assistant.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're going to want to talk to something where you're like, you know, like, let me think about something that you might. Earlier, we made some turmeric tea. Maybe I'm like, you know what, dildo. Whip out my dildo, and it has like a face. I'm like, what are the benefits of turmeric tea? And then maybe I'll be like, okay, here they are. And it tells you. I mean, Siri can already kind of do that, but like,
for sure,
you can be like, you can have a little bit of a conversation with
told
it.
You that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something more impressive than just telling me about what the benefits of turmeric are. That's not very impressive, but I don't know. I think it's going to be the year of that kind of AI being more in people's lives, like a conversation with like a really smart chatbot.
I mean, I'm here for the ride. I'm here for it. I think that's all we can do here and now in 2023. I feel like there's just so much happening that we just gotta hold on. And sometimes that feels like that, it feels like you're kind of flailing in the wind a little bit, and you're just looking for a good hold. So that's technology. I guess something big for me, I'm probably gonna have to get a new phone this year. I've had the same phone for almost 4 years now.
Yeah, it's a long
It's fucking
lifespan.
wild. Like, I got this motherfucker in 2019. What?
Yeah, it's gonna be a big camera upgrade for you. You're gonna notice.
2019. Hold on, I'm trying to think how many years is that. Yeah, it's like
4.
fucking 4 years. I've never had a phone for 4 years. Like, I'm actually really impressed with myself.
Why haven't you upgraded? I think you've been.
I don't
You
have
can
the
do
money.
it. I don't think it's that much more
It's
expensive.
actually more expensive to keep my phone. I would like
after
to.
this much time, I think it's the same price. Honestly,
Well, what's the price?
I don't know. It's like $10 a month on top of the phone bill. It depends on the phone you get.
I'm on a pretty tight budget, so I will crunch the numbers because I do just want a better camera.
Yeah.
And I'm due for it, so that's gonna be cool for me. I'd love to get an iPad, also.
Just to let the audience, the tech heads know, Zach has an iPhone X10, or it's like XR.
XR,
The XR.
extended release. I mean, it works just fine.
I got a 13 this year, and it was really crazy. It was a crazy bump to have the 3 cameras. I was psyched about that.
Yeah, but part of me just wants a flip phone.
Definitely. But like the cameras, you'd
Yeah.
still want a good camera.
Well, I mostly shoot on film anyway, so. I'm really going back. I'm really, to put it into terms of YouTube, I would say I'm kind of going pretty trout and coffee with it.
It's a joke nobody's gonna get.
It's just old, good equipment that runs well if you oil it.
All right. I took some notes about
How much
what I should talk about. Wait, hold on. What's up?
recording still?
Yeah, this is on the podcast.
This is on the podcast?
I don't have anything else to say actually.
How much are
Not
those
about
Merrills?
podcasts.
How much are those Merrills you're rocking?
I'm wearing some Merrill like fake Crocs.
Are those pretty comfortable?
They're good. You got to wear socks with them.
Why?
I was hoping, or else you get a blister. Yeah, the thing about it is I wanted to wear them with no shoes. I wanted this to be no socks. Sorry.
An available style without the back part, like just like a Croc. They only have the strappy. They don't have that option.
I didn't see it.
I was curious.
They look like sort of like a cholla cactus.
Yeah, I mean, my Crocs are actually. I think my Crocs are from 2019 too, so I'm looking to upgrade.
I think, yeah. Isn't it crazy the ride Crocs went on?
Yes, it's just like one of those companies that never went away, and then somehow like they became like the shit.
Have I told you this before? That when like the first time I saw Crocs, it was at a Dick's Sporting Goods, and I just saw an entire wall of Crocs, like huge wall, all Crocs, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, "They're not only selling this; they're trying to sell a lot of this." I was like, "Wow!" and I wanted to buy them because they looked so stupid. But they were like $40. And I was like,
At the time?
At the time, I think it was like $30 to $40.
Probably, yeah, I could see 30.
I was probably like 20, maybe 18. And yeah, I didn't buy them, but I wanted to get them because they look so stupid. And then there was the initial wave of Crocs, which was huge. Everybody had Crocs for a second.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I was at that time. I feel like I remember going to New York and going in the Croc store, and I'm like, just like, wow, like people really love Crocs.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if I got a pair of the initial wave. I didn't get a pair because they immediately became like a phenomenon. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to get this thing that was an immediate failure. I thought I was going to be one of the only people with Crocs because they looked so stupid. Little did I know, they got huge. And then immediately, I would say 1 to 2 years later, plummeting in cool factor or like something.
I thought they went away. Like, I felt like there was a time where they were having a hard time selling the Crocs. Like, they're like, we got to get rid of these.
I think maybe that was just our perception. Maybe they have had a strong customer base for a long time, but there were definitely years where they weren't cool. It was like nurses wore them,
and nurses continue to wear them. Like, most nurses, like, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of nurses rock the Croc. Like, it's like it's a hospital. It makes sense for the hospital. It's like, it's easy to clean. It's, you know, it's a fucking Croc. It's utility.
A Croc, you got to give a shout out to Croc for what they did with shoes. It's a weird thing, and there's it's so easily washable. I'm not wearing a fake Croc now, but even my fake Croc, it's easily washable. It's comfortable. I don't know what.
Yeah,
It was a good idea.
Take a look at my Crocs here. Do you think I need a new pair, or do you think they're like still rocking?
It looks heavily worn, but still totally functional.
Right. I don't know. I think I just want a new pair of Crocs at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and these can kind of be like my backup, just in case.
I think that's fair. I mean, we
I
both agree that Crocs deserves it.
I mean,
what color are you thinking? These ones right now are currently the classic style navy blue.
the thing is, like, they get expensive, and like, I'm not trying to get like a pair of Crocs that are like rainbow. Like, I don't like to go too crazy with it.
Yeah, a simple Croc is better. I agree.
Yeah, because then you can actually wear it with an outfit, and like, you can kind of make it work.
But then, in what year was it that Crocs started to come back? 5 or 7 years ago, I'd say. Like, it was a short dip into uncoolness before they were like, wait a second, maybe they were actually. I think that fashion saw what I initially saw in them, which was how stupid they look. Yeah. And they were like, we're gonna put these on some models and like and put together a whole outfit that's like kind of just like chunky and clunky, and they kind of fit with that style. And so yeah, they're having a renaissance now, and I guess I like it. It's such a weird cool.
I feel like it's gonna go out. It's gonna soon go out again.
I think they're overstaying their welcome. We're gonna have a surplus.
No, I just think like they're gonna be like, everyone's gonna be wearing them, and like they already almost are, but like it's gonna become so like, oh yeah, I'm like, my fucking uncle wears Crocs. Like, that'll make them uncool.
True. I guess there's going to be a saturation point, and they'll dip back under maybe again for a while. But them come back again.
I think they will.
I think they'll always be dipping in and out.
I mean, that's just style. It's fashion. It's kind of just it ebbs and it flows, and it comes back. And
did you hear about the Crocs with the Idiocracy movie?
What are you talking about?
Speaking of podcasts, I watched this clip from Joe Rogan Experience with Mike Judge, the dude who did like Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill.
Right.
He was talking about he did the movie Idiocracy, and they were saying what shoes should we put on them, and they were like, there's these things called Crocs that are out, and we just imagine that everybody in the future is going to be wearing Crocs. So they're like, that's like basically like a baby shoe, like and they are on the characters in some of the scenes. A lot of the scenes you can see them, and they were like, there's no freaking way these are gonna catch. They had a worry that they were gonna catch on. Like, well, what if these actually get really popular? Then the characters are just gonna be wearing Crocs. And the stylist was like, there's no way these are gonna get popular. Like, this is gonna be, we can use this as a prop. But they're wearing Crocs in a lot of scenes, so they are kind of the shoe of the future.
I can't disagree with that.
All right, folks.
I'm literally about to buy a new pair of Crocs right now. I'm gonna go with the dark green. You feel that?
That it's really similar to what you have already.
I know, but that's the thing. I don't want to get anything that's gonna be too, like.
I have it right now. I have my fake Croc. It's a Merrill fake Croc, if you want to Google it. I don't know what it's actually called. I got them in white, and it doesn't stay clean. It's dirty as hell.
I don't want to get white.
It looks like bone, which that's what I'm okay with, because it's kind of dirty. It looks like a skeleton,
I mean, do I go like all out with it? Like, this is too Croc, almost.
The
right?
grass green classic Croc. It's cool. I think with certain outfits, it's really going to hit.
For sure, but
they're taking up a lot of space in an outfit.
That's true.
It's loud.
That's why I was going with kind of just like a normal green. It's not gonna offend anybody. Is it bad that I was almost just gonna get a new pair of the ones I'm wearing now, just the navy blue?
I don't think you should. I mean, they look great.
They look worn. Red? No.
I told you when I was in this weird mall in like Ohio one time, I was walking through it. It was a dead mall, nothing else in it, and I walked past this like shoe shiner lady, and she was like, "Can I clean your Crocs?" Or like, "Can I wash your Crocs?" And I was like, "Oh no, thank you." And she was like, just trying to. I think she said, I don't know if she said it was free.
She just wanted to wash your Crocs.
Yeah, it was a shoe shiner, but she was like, "I'll wash your Crocs," because I was wearing these shoes, and I was like, they actually could have used a wash, but it was really weird. Totally empty mall, just a lady waiting in it to wash a shoe shine.
I mean, that just goes to show you where we've gone, where the Crocs have gone. I mean, they've hit top. I look forward to getting my new pair and continuing to wear them throughout my life. They're a great camp shoe. Can't disagree with that.
They're definitely going to go down in history. Like, I'm trying to think of another product that's like as monumental as the Croc, I think, will be.
I don't know. Like, I'd like to see like the Croc family, like
the Bic lighter.
What you're trying to say? Like, it's as iconic? Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that.
The Bic lighter. I heard lighters before the Bic lighter sucked, but like the whole thing with like just a classic lighter looking lighter. Lighter sucked before that.
Thank God they got to where they are, because I mean, all I really ever see are Bics almost.
And they're good.
Yeah, and usually the ones that are not Bics kind of suck. Hey, keep on keeping on, guys. Pow, I just shit my pants.
Oh yeah, hold on.
For tuning in.
That's him ripping.
All right, guys. Boomer lives.
Yeah, Boomer lives.
Shit.
Oh, that's controversial.
We're still going, actually. Just gonna give a little bit of ambience here at the end. I wanted to say Boomer Liz, but I kind of cringed in my head, but I said it anyway.
I had nothing to add to that. Boomer Liz. That was accurate.